Time now for Fantasy Football Today for CBS Local. I'm Jamie Eisenberg. That's Dave Richard. That's Heath Cummings. We have the starts and sits you need for Week 13. Let's get right to it with the start of the week, and it's a guy coming off a huge game in Week 12, but he's going to continue it in Week 13. That's Elijah Mitchell, 49ers running back, in a great spot. Remember, no Deebo Samuel. He is out, so hopefully a few more touches for Mitchell this week. I don't know if that's possible. He had 32 total touches in last week's game against the Vikings. I love the setup for him. I love the setup even more for him now against Seattle defense that's got to be exhausted playing Monday night against the Washington football team that kept them on the field and kept them on the field and kept them on the field. I think it's going to be a bad situation for the Seahawks defense. Great situation for Mitchell. As you see, top 5 fantasy running back for me, top 8 guy for all 3 of us here. My starts for Week 13. Myles Gaskin, I think, will keep it going as well. It's been tough to trust Gaskin lately, but I think we'll continue to get good performances from him in this matchup. A good performance from him in this matchup against the Giants. Don't worry about Phillip Lindsay. Gaskin will still have another strong game. Dave, let's take a look at your starts here. You got Kirk Cousins, Devonta Freeman, Devonta Smith, Beckham, and Foster Moreau stepping in for an injured Darren Waller. Is Devonta Smith getting the squeaky wheel treatment this week?
I hope he does. I'm worried about the opportunities for him. He's had 6 or fewer targets in each of his last 5 games, but I love the matchup. The Jets have allowed at least 9 non-PPR fantasy points to 9 wide receivers in their last 5 weeks, including 7 total touchdowns. I'm hoping Smith can get a big piece of that.
Nick Sirianni talking after the game about how Smith was complaining about not getting the ball on the final drive there for the Eagles in their loss to the Giants. Squeaky wheel is coming. Heath, your starts for Week 13. Trusting Derek Carr again. JAMAAL Williams in a great spot. You're trusting Elijah Moore. We'll get that a little bit later. Hunter Renfrow, Kyle Pitts, but Dave does not like Kyle Pitts, so let's have a Kyle Pitts discussion. Is this the week he breaks out?
I think this is the week that he breaks out. You look at the last time he faced Tampa Bay, 5 catches, 73 yards, 12.3 PPR points without a touchdown. It's pretty much been without a touchdown all season for Kyle Pitts. He's only scored 1, but even if you look at his last 6 games when he's really struggled, he's still averaging 10 fantasy points per game without any touchdowns at all. Kyle Pitts is going to score another touchdown at some point, maybe even this week, but he has a nice floor for you even if he doesn't.
The first part of scoring a touchdown is actually getting targeted. He has 1 red zone target since the Falcons' Week 6 bye. He's had 10 or fewer PPR points in 5 straight games. That's each game Calvin Ridley has missed, by the way. Tampa Bay has allowed 8 touchdowns to wide receivers and tight ends combined over their last 8 games. None of them with 100 total yards. I'm worried about that upside for Kyle Pitts.
And you're worried about the Broncos running backs also?
Yeah, the matchup against Kansas City, they've been really good against the run, and this just feels like a matchup where Kansas City will build a lead, and they might do some good running themselves, and it's not going to leave a lot for Denver's running backs, their flex plays.
Let's take a look at your sits, Heath, for Week 13, and you don't like Damien Harris. I don't like Rhamondre Stevenson. Let's talk about the Patriots backfield.
I don't really like this game very much at all. An over-under of 43.5, and just 2 of the best defenses in the NFL. If that's not enough, Harris is in a complete timeshare. The last 2 weeks, he and Rhamondre Stevenson both exactly 38.9% of the team's rush attempts. Very low touchdown odds. Probably not going to get more than 12 or 13 touches, and he doesn't catch the ball in the passing game. I don't want to start doing it.
Yeah, I get your sentiment there. I feel the same way about Stevenson, except a little bit worse. I would start Harris over Stevenson if I have both, and I do in a few leagues. I just think you look at Stevenson's production in the last 2 games with Harris back on the field. He's gone back to being, in terms of production, the second guy. Harris scored the touchdown last week. I think in a very key AFC East matchup against the Buffalo Bills, we'll see a little bit more lean toward the veteran guy. So I like Harris slightly better, but I agree with you. If you can avoid both of these guys, probably the way to go, because Buffalo's run defense, for the most part, unless you're Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor, they've been very good. There's your starts and sits for Week 13 for Fantasy Football Today for CBS Local Sports. Don't forget to check out our Fantasy Football Today podcast. You can find it wherever podcasts are available. And, of course, check out our full show on CBS Sports HQ. We are live Monday through Friday at noon Eastern and Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We help you dominate your fantasy leagues.